Choose life, choose a sport, choose a drop zone, choose a start time, choose a fucking big jump plane, choose turbine engines, speed, unlimited altitude, and endless horizons. Choose height, no low turns, and travel insurance. Choose jump tickets, choose tiny action cameras, choose your mates, choose a rig and matching helmet, choose swoop shorts and a range of fucking fabrics, choose 120 vertical speed and wondering who the fuck you are on a Sunday morning. Choose sitting on that couch, watching debriefs, spirit-saving slow-mos, smashing beers after last load. Choose standing on the podium at the end of it all. Choose a win you'll love every time. And the reasons? There are no reasons. Who needs reasons when you fly NZ Aerosports?
Coming straight from the cockpit, it's another episode of Lunatic Fringe with the fucking pilot.
Ready, set, go! Back in the can, actually in the can, for another edition of Lunatic Fringe Into the Void. And you've been here before, but who the fuck are you and what do you do?
Hey, buddy. My name's Andy Ford. I'm a UK skydiver. And yeah, back with you here.
Fordy. Dude, a lot of fucking shit has happened since the last time we talked, and very little of it was skydiving.
Yeah, it's been some crazy times, right?
Fuck, man.
I can't quite remember when we did sit down and talk, but it seems like, well, 2020 just evaporated, right?
It did just evaporate, man. I mean, the whole goddamn thing kind of went up in flames. So, did you get much done in 2020?
Mate, 2020 was a fucking great year for me. And now that aside, I feel bad because a lot of people have had the worst year, 2020. Sure. But from 2019 New Year's Eve, we did that big jump with the fireworks and over the bush.
Yeah,
probably the best skydive I've ever done. I got engaged to my missus after a tandem on the last jump of the year at the club. That was good at the centre. And as soon as we canned it in March, I got back to the UK and spent 4 months just integrating with my new family, really, which was not what I expected to do.
Right.
At my age, having not had children, to spend 4 months lockdown, education, it was a baptism of fire.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, you kind of went into insta-dad mode.
Yeah, full power. But you know what? Amazing kids. And it was another challenge. It's just a challenge, bro, and we went at it full power.
What do you think spending your entire adult life with a bunch of fucking children for a living helped?
Yeah, being an AFF instructor has helped, being a child myself has helped. I've got to be fair, though. If I ever see another front laverbial, some of that homework shit they're getting sent home, I'm like, I'm just going to Google that.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, fair enough. It's kind of funny that you definitely would think that being a skydiver for as long as you've been, you're kind of used to everything from crazy shit to temper tantrums and stuff that just doesn't make sense.
Yeah, it was just... we jumped hard at the beginning of the year, as always. So
right.
By the time I'd gone home, I've done 500 skydives in 2020 by the time I went home.
Right.
I've never taken, in fact, no, I tell a lie. I took 4 months off when I went to the Falklands in the Air Force. I went to Arizona. I did a 2-week training camp with some guys I was coaching. I came back to the UK. I came back to the UK on the Tuesday. On the Thursday, I was on the freighter because I'd missed the trooper. I went to the Falkland Islands via Ascension, and I was down there for 4 months. That's the longest break I'd had in skydiving. And that was since 1988. So for me, 4 months was a long time, and it happened again last year.
Right.
Just like that, boom. And nothing really opened until mid-July in the UK.
Yeah.
My drop zone decided to just be a little more cautious about starting tandems, and I full power to them, just because the proximity, jumping with someone and attaching them to you, they wanted to just see how it went for a while. So I nipped up to another drop zone and did some wingsuiting and stuff, and just
nice,
took my own precautions, and it was
good. Now they were getting back into it, but now the UK's back in another fucking lockdown.
Yeah, since Boxing Day. So we had.
Wait, what's Boxing Day for Americans?
Sorry, man. It's the day after Christmas Day.
Why? Give us a history lesson, because I've heard it. I know what it is, but I don't know what it is.
I don't know. I've heard it, but I can't put it.
Is it just that's when you've got all the fucking boxes you got to deal with from the presents?
I guess maybe it is.
All right.
I guess maybe it is. But we had another lockdown, so we started again in July. So I did about 240 jumps, I guess, at the end of the year.
So you did almost 800 jumps in a shit year.
Totally, and that's ridiculous, isn't it? But they had another month in November and the pre-Christmas lockdown, and it feels a little bit, looking at how things are now, that the whole early lockdown was sadly a waste of time, because the resurgence of it has been so crazy.
Sure.
But I've got a lot of friends who are full-time skydivers in a country where full-time skydiving is a mission, as it is, doing 400, 500 jumps a year in the UK, you're pushing hard. And so my friends that are tandem instructors, AFF instructors, and camera flyers, I mean, that sucks for them. They're just not working.
A bunch of our mutual friends, I can think of at least 2 or 3 off the top of my head. One that's driving delivery between the UK and France, and one that's building a pimp ass boat. Hey, Carl. Oh
man, that guy's turned into the DIY of the waterways, isn't
right?
It?
Right, absolutely. It's it's kind of cool in that respect. Watching what COVID has done to a bunch of skydivers that can't jump.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool watching how ingenious some of them have gotten, all the way from like the Liquid Sky guys and designing and putting together all the masks and all that shit, and a lot of other people followed his lead. So amazing there, and then all the projects that have come out in artwork, Reagan, I mean, just fucking amazing. All this stuff coming out. So that part of it's been kind of cool.
I think skydivers are the sort of people, go-getters, that are not going to just sit around and allow stuff to swallow them. Yeah. That's it. They're going to get out there and find other stuff to channel their energies into. So we've got Linley, a good friend of mine that I work with, who, that guy started learning piano last year. And dude, he went to a piano teacher, and she's like, "Oh, you're grade 5."
Really?
So, and Hannah had taught Linley. I pretty much think that's how it went. And he just put hours into his piano, and just amazing skills that have come out of this lockdown. It's a silver lining.
And meanwhile, there's people like me who have been trying to learn bass guitar for 20 years, and I've got a beautiful guitar that just hangs on the wall and mocks me.
Dusty strings.
Yeah, but it's really pretty, but I still can't fucking play it. Well, I mean, it's definitely been a crazy year, and it has been really nice to see the good stuff that's come out of it, and hopefully we're able to take the lessons learned and move forward as shit starts to loosen up.
Let's hope so. Whatever happens, things start to ease up.
For sure. Now, I'm sure most of the people listening don't want to hear any more about fucking COVID or any of this bullshit. And I wanted to ask you, because I overheard part of a conversation with you. You were talking about a photograph that you were able to sell back in the day for what even now is still kind of an obscene amount of money for a photograph. So tell me this story.
Well, I've been a photographer for, pretty much since I started skydiving. I wanted to put a camera on my head. I think we talked about this before. I saw the guys with the camera on their head doing more jumps than the guys paying them. So I was like, well, that's what I want to do. Yeah. And so years go past, I've been doing a lot of camera work, and I'm with Mike, the Sky Surf guy. And so Mike Frost and I would always shoot stills. Didn't matter how many jumps we did training, I would shoot stills with it. It was just, the weight was ridiculous. I used to have like a VX1000 digital camera with a lump of a 0.5mm lens, plus the camera, plus a flash gun. And I was doing 20 jumps a day. I've no idea how I'm sitting in front of you with a straight spine.
Right. It's probably not.
It's probably not at all. But there was a time, 97, we were out in Titusville, and we shot some pictures. Mike had dreads. He used to wear these really cool wraparound shades, and we shot some pictures. And I used to shoot on slide. And he got a call from a picture library that he used to put some stuff into, and he's like, "Oh yeah, we've made it down to the last 4 for this picture." And I'm like, "Oh, that's pretty cool. Which picture is it?" He's like, "Oh, I've sent a bunch in," and it wasn't even me doing this, And so, a few weeks come up later, and he's like, right, it's between us and Troy. And I'm like, oh, well, we're screwed. Because Troy Hartman was, he was at the time X Games champion, and Vic Papadato. And
so it would have been Papadato's pictures who you were fighting against?
Yeah.
Oh.
And so I'm like, well, I knew these guys from only 96 when we'd started in the Pro Tour.
Right.
And, and then a couple of weeks later, he phones me all excited. And he's like, yeah, we've got this picture. And I was like, oh, that's awesome, bro. Cool. And he's like, yeah, so I'm gonna get him to cut you a check. I was like, oh, all right, cool. What's that for? And he's like, well, your half's £12,000. And I'm like, sorry? He said, yeah, your half's £12,000. He said, obviously the picture library take 50%. He said, and we split it 50-50. So it went for 50 grand.
Jesus Christ, 50 grand.
50 grand.
Now and they ended up using that picture all over the place, didn't they?
Yeah, it was for Ralph Lauren Polo Sport. So the picture was used in all the chemists, all the department stores,
right,
and stuff like that. It would, as you go in, and there's the beauty section and whatever, and then there's the colognes and the sprays and all that sort of stuff.
Sure.
Then there it was, hanging on the wall, and I went round everywhere, swooping up as many of these things as I could. I've still got, like I said, I got some where you just peel them open and you can smell the fragrance sort of thing. And I was like, well, you're never going to have another chance to get these. So I've got a little file of stuff like that.
What was the image?
It was, to be fair, Dean, mate, I'd have given it away. It was nothing particularly special from my point of view.
Sure.
He was doing a sit spin, so he's kind of got the board up against his butt, and the board's stretched out. He's kind of pitched back a little bit, laid back a little bit like that. Yeah, kind of like that from above. And because he's got the dreads, they're out and they're flying, and he's spinning, and I've just bum, and I'm taking the pictures, and I'm like, okay. I put some way better ones than that in. Sure. And he's like, well, he said they just really like the power of the.
Isn't that funny?
Oh man, that's why to this day having a picture library is important.
Sure.
If you put your stuff in a picture library, because you do not know what the marketing people want.
Right.
We all have a different eye for art, and we all have a different eye for photography, especially, and they see stuff that goes with their narrative. But as a photographer, you'll go, oh, look at this one. It's an amazing exit shot. Sure. And they're like, yeah, cheers. Not interested. And you're like, but it's, Do you know? I shoot a lot of stills now, and you still never know what people want.
No, for sure. Do you know what image Vic and Troy had up?
No idea. No, we didn't see it. We didn't see any. I was just so secretly pleased. It was like that little dance, ooh, we beat Vic and Troy. It wasn't even the money. It was just the fact that, those boys were top end. Yeah. They were number one. We were still tryouts and getting in every time through the tryouts. Wow. So we were working so hard to get in the competition, and then to do that was amazing.
Oh fuck yeah! Well, that was that would have been right around the time then that I actually met Vic for the first time, and he ended up working at my drop zone in Vegas.
Yep.
And he was flying camera for a friend of mine named Sammy Popov. Yeah. Who was trying to get big into skysurfing as well and doing pretty good. He was in the 98 Nationals when Mary and I were there as well. Yeah. Vic and I became friends along with all of them, and that was shortly after he had just won the X Games. Yeah. So he was the current champion at that time. Unfortunately, he was also the current champion when he passed away. But
that's very true.
Yeah, because that was all in a relatively short time frame, all in that late 90s, 96, 98, I think. 98, I think was when he passed away. 98 or 99.
It would have been 98, yeah, I think.
Yeah,
98, because 99 we'd started to ease off with stuff, and I think Bob, who was filming, I can't remember who filmed Troy after that. But yeah, man, I was super sad. Sad that Vic went. Well,
dude's fucking skysurfing had kind of felt like a curse to it, didn't it?
Yeah, I got a T-shirt from, I think we might have touched on this before. I got a T-shirt. It's got a PlayStation T-shirt because that was our sponsor. And we had some printed ones done, but we had a very small selection of ones that were embroidered, that were really nice with the logos on the arm. And I went round at the X Games the Pro Tour in 96. I got everyone to sign it. And I mean, everyone that was there at the September 96 Paris Pro Tour, and there was Patrick de Gardon, there was Vic and Troy, there was Olaf, there was all the boys are there. And I look at that now, Damien Herdlicker.
Who was Surflight?
Surflight,
because Surflight, he passed away too.
Was that Was that the guy that made the boards?
Yes,
that was he went in at the wow. Let's not turn this too dark. He went in at the Quincy boogie, didn't he?
I think so. Yeah,
Went in
that's why I say it was like there was this curse because
it
was. I think the whole thing started with Rob Harris. I mean, who was like OG amazing on the fucking.
And he sadly, I never met Rob. I saw his stuff. What a graceful, beautiful,
so smooth,
flyer.
Right?
Filmed by Joe, who was an incredible, is an incredible talent.
Yep.
When their synergy was just insane. And even if you looked at that now, you can just he was so beautiful the way he flew. Effortless.
Yeah, one of the first times I actually ever saw sky surfing, and one of the things that hooked me to how cool it was Joe and Rob exiting a tailgate over the beach.
Yeah.
And Joe was doing air to ground transmission with that massive fucking white knob on his helmet. And funny enough, I'm actually going to have Joe on the show here. I think in the next couple of weeks we're supposed to talk. So I get to ask him all kinds of fucking fun questions too.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was the what hooked is you watch that, and he was so smooth. Yeah. You'd watch Rob exit out of a fucking side door Cessna.
Didn't matter.
No.
And he'd just unfold into this graceful exit.
Smooth as can be.
Some of the nicest footage ever for me was, and I can't remember whether it was in one of Joe's movies, maybe it was in The Right Stuff. It was Patrick Degardon, and Rob flying together.
Tandem,
no,
together.
Not the tandem.
Side by side.
Side by side. Yeah. Just flying together like two free flyers, but on boards.
Yeah.
And just carving round each other. And I think, if memory serves, there was a third, which would have been Eric Friday, who's again top French skydiver for years. So I think there was like a three-way sky surf going on. I mean, to get two boards in vicinity like that is hardcore. So three was just and have a cameraman moving in and out.
Right, doing all of that as well.
Yes.
Well, and speaking of the tandem sky surf, that was Wendy Smith.
That was Wendy Smith.
And who was the guy? I don't remember.
That was Patrick. Yeah,
was it Patrick?
Degardon. Yeah, on that. Well, Patrick was such a lovely guy. He was 6 foot goddamn tall.
Yeah.
No, he was 6'4". Must have been 6'4", 6'5". He was a giant of a man.
And Wendy's teeny.
And Wendy, bless her, Kiwi Wendy is she's fairly small in comparison. Everyone is, but there. And they just did that beautiful skydive on, I think it was over Hawaii on that massive board.
Yeah.
So that was pretty cool. I have a funny little side story. Again, sadly, this guy's gone. There's a guy called Chris Gage in the UK, and Chris was mainly our competition. There was a team called Vice Versa and PlayStation, and we were just that little bit ahead. We were just, the way it fell that we would win the competitions, and Tim Porter and Chris just rolled into number 2. And it was a small part of the sport, sky surf. So It wasn't as if there was 50 people in a competition like some of the disciplines. But we were lucky enough to just edge out ahead. And we were super good friends. So I'd sit with Chris and we'd chat. And he was one of the first people, he was the first person I ever saw sky surf down in a place called Cornwall, out of a little Cessna 206. And I just remember being freaked out by watching this guy on board with a board. And this is before I'd met Mike. This is about 4 years before I'd met Mike. And we'd started to jump together. And so he told me this story about Patrick Degardon. He's in Deland. He goes and sees Patrick, and Patrick's got this carbon fibre board. And because Patrick's so tall, his board is huge.
Right.
And he's telling Chris how flexible it is, and how strong it is, and he kind of puts his foot against it and flexes it against like a chair.
Right.
And he's like, "Go on, try it." So Chris goes, "Yeah, snap," and he takes the end off this board, and like he's horrified because sky surf boards are worth a fortune, Yeah. And this thing's got the end 8 inches snapped off of it, and carbon fibers all.
Oh yeah.
So the fibers are everywhere, and he's like, "I am so sorry. I'm so sorry." And Patrick's like, "Yeah, no problem. I have 5." And he gives him the board, but because it's so big, Chris has it reshaped for his size board.
Awesome.
So Chris's board was basically a snapped carbon board from Patrick, and sadly, Chris went in Europe. Early 99 maybe, 2000, which was super sad because he was such a genuinely wonderful man to compete against, and I
don't know what it was about that sky surfing just seemed to have such a rash of bad luck on top of everything, totally. I mean, it's and so many amazing people got into it, and a bunch of friends obviously got into it, although I've seen a resurgence lately. I hadn't seen a picture of a fucking board that wasn't, an old beat up photograph from years ago until maybe the last 2 years, and all of a sudden people are starting to jump boards again.
Well, Sean McCormick still jumps a board a little bit.
Yeah.
Red Bull Sean, because he's talented and he can turn his hand to anything. But
Of course.
I think Stefan Klaus is still jumps aboard every now and then. Stefan was a super talented guy as well. To be fair, everyone that was on the board, I would say, was talented. I did a handful of them, and it wasn't my thing. But
well, we talked about this last time around, but I don't know how much detail we got into. What do you think was the death throes of sky surfing? What took it out?
Free flying, definitely.
Yeah,
without a shadow of a doubt. Free flying is just. It's easily accessible to the masses. You don't have to train a particular way to just go out and have fun with your friends.
Sure.
And sky surfing, let's be fair, it's a pretty solo sport.
Yeah, well, and I was always under the impression that McCormick's Invisible Man move kind of was the nail in the coffin, because how the fuck do you compete with having to duct tape your arms?
No, you're right. Yeah, I think it was just that a little bit more hardcore. It was very niche.
Yeah.
It's the same as wingsuit started a little bit niche.
Sure.
You had those guys that were wearing the weird funky dresses that took them 20 minutes to put on before before they got on a load.
All right.
You had the guy that was a pain in the ass on the airplane because he had this 6-foot stick that he was poking everywhere, and it was like, oh, dude, do you mind? I can't, Yeah. He had to go out first, and it was just the smaller planes. It was a pain, and I think it just was more difficult than people wanted to do. Everyone liked a bit of instant, and you can go out and sit fly within 10 jumps and be jumping with your mates within 20 jumps if you're
fair enough. Well, I think
you can learn it in the tunnel.
Yes,
No?
absolutely. Well, I think sky surfing and wingsuiting got the same reputation because they were both like, when I talked to the guys from Squirrel, I likened it to when snowboards first came on the scene.
Yeah.
And all the skiers are like, get that fucking thing off my mountain. You keep mashing down all my logos, you know.
Yeah.
And I think that analogy still fits pretty well, although obviously now wingsuits have gotten to the point where they're pretty
mainstream now, huh?
Yeah. Well, they're extremely mainstream, and the suit designs have come up to a point where you can climb the stairs now.
Yeah, man, I love it. There's nothing more fun if you're not in a big group, but there's nothing more fun as you move away from a group is to just pop it up into a flare. It's an amazing feeling. I guess akin for a pilot, it's just like bringing the nose up till you get that nearly zero airspeed, and then you let it wing over. And if you've got the aircraft that you can do it in, then that feeling, that sensation of having no power left, no air over the wing. Like one of the guys I'm jumping with now, because we got the comms, and that's the absolute
amazing
game changer. So we use the little comms, and you can dive hard together. Make sure you're in a level flying position with each other, and like call the ball when you want to like flatten out. 1, 2, 3, pop, and they're both going up the top of the flare to the point where neither of you have the power for one to go around the top, like on the outside of the racetrack. So you have to wing over next to each other. You end up on the opposite side, now with no airspeed, so you're literally dropping out, and then you're back, and when the power comes back in, like a balloon jump, when you start again with the power, and you're just shouting at each other and grinning. And
you'd have to be.
For me, the wingsuiting is, that's pretty much that's my thing if I'm not working.
Well, yeah. Well, and I've seen from a distance, obviously, the progression of wingsuits has been fucking insane, especially over the last 5 or 6 years. It's just taken off. Now, I saw and have kind of been following this. Have you seen the electric dual fan?
The BMW one?
No, there's a BMW one. There's another one that Sky Vibrations, I think, is the name of it.
Yeah, there's a couple of guys in Europe working on it at the same time, and I think one, because of COVID, didn't announce it and didn't bring it out, and the other guys kind of pushed ahead a little bit, and I saw a very very genuine sort of very well done, gentlemen. I'm gutted that I didn't show people before,
right?
Because I think these guys were neck and neck with doing the same sort of thing.
Well, the BMW one kind of blew me away. You saw it, and I don't know how much power there is to it, and obviously knowing those suits have so much power even without the extra thrust, you wonder how much of it's just the talent of that wingsuit pilot. But still,
definitely having the power to.
You can see the potential.
Yes, very much so. Well, Jana Cordia, Dutch guy who has been jumping with jets on a normal wingsuit for a while as well. And there's a beautiful bit of footage where he drops out of a balloon And then he just drops out, and then you see him flying away, a bit like you do off the guys that are doing the cliffs. But then he carries on, and you're like, is he actually dropping away? And then he just carries on, and then you can see he's ascending a little bit, and he just. And the guy on the video, he's having a problem keeping it steady because he's so far away, and he's zoomed to maximum digital zoom, so it's pixelated and wobbly. Right. But the guy's still screaming off into the distance. So there's a few people working on projects, and it's super interesting to see. And if you can get the backing to do that sort of thing, and you've got the know-how to do it, then...
Well, how the fuck did they get BMW?
Well, I mean, that's a cool thing to get, right?
Right.
Yeah, that's someone who's got a partner who works somewhere in BMW. I doubt if that was something they just sent a letter in for.
Right. Yeah, so. Well, the physicality that's got to be involved in flying a wingsuit that way, I mean, because the positions that you're getting into and the physical forces on you to climb that suit if you've got the thrust.
Interesting because the suits have got less physical. There's definitely now, it was harder to fly suits 10 years ago where you were the rigid structure. Right. That was it. The wingsuit did inflate, but it inflated, and your arms were the leading edge. Sure. Now a lot of the suits with the foam inlet, the foam liner on the leading edge, and the way the suits inflate, you actually feel like you're in a very, very predictable, very smooth, less physical.
Well, now the drawback to that, though, is the fact that it can be difficult to deflate, yes?
Yeah, that's why, especially with the squirrel stuff, they have the zips in the arms and legs. So when you first get the suit, you can sort of open up the zips, gives you that sort of squishy concertina feeling, so you can fly nicely, but then you can shut down nicely for the pull if that's the way you pull. But once you start to master opening techniques and start to become better with it, then you can zip it up so it stays pressurized. So it's a very clever system of keeping the wing to your level, your standard. And I think anyone that gets a wingsuit for the first time and goes fully zipped up is either very experienced or hasn't understood what the suit's designed for.
Sure. You know? Now, a modern pull on a suit like that, if you're keeping it pressurized, is to climb again, yes, to flare.
Yeah, it's getting yourself so you're at a predictable airspeed. For me, the way I've always done it, I say always done it, since I got a wingsuit-specific canopy, it changed how I deployed on a wingsuit. Okay. So it used to be a big shutdown for me for like 1,000 plus wingsuit jumps was you'd fly to the end of the flight, track away from your buddies, and I would shut down, chest high, head high, knees together, keeping that lower wing shut. So I would drop off the end of my trajectory and start to fall again. And in my head, I'm like, well, I just want to pitch the pilot chute in the most normal way possible. That works until you've got something you can't shut down.
Right.
Because then you've got a massive squidgy lilo of air around you, and staying stable is much harder because you're now, it's unpredictable how much of the wing you've shut down. And so you then start to get to the point where you have soft shoulders, and if you pitch the pilot chute out and one shoulder's tighter than the other, that's your twists, and there you go, and off on a ride.
Yeah.
Excuse me. So, when I got the wingsuit specific canopy and I've got a PD Horizon, after the first few openings, I realised that actually this thing was just going to be there. Every time I pitched out, it was beautiful. And so it allowed me to experiment. And that's where I then really could, all the stuff I'd read from Squirrel, from Matt, which was super good and super technical, I hadn't had the courage to put into practice with a canopy that could spit me off like the Sabre 2, because that's what I was jumping at the time. So I started to fly how I'd read, and I'd read, diving and flattening and flaring and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, wow, this is, I had a couple of fun openings on the Sabre 2, so I'd stopped experimenting. Because, when you get bitten a couple of times, you're like, whoop, yeah, that was close enough.
Yeah.
Well, so with the wingsuit specific canopy that just went, do what you want, bro.
Sure.
Carry on, I don't care, I'll just be here for you. So I would get to the top of the flare, and then I got to the point where I realised that actually the top of the flare is the most pointless place to put a pilot chute out, because the pilot chute needs some direction. It needs some instruction from the airflow, and it wasn't getting any when I've got myself down to nearly zero airspeed.
Right.
And I found that going up the hill, I didn't know how fast I'd been diving, didn't know how fast I'd flattened out or how fast I was climbing towards the low airspeed point, because that changes skydive to skydive,
Sure.
So I was kind of reluctant to put the pilot chute out on the way up the hill, because it could have been 80 mile an hour, 60 mile an hour, 40 mile an hour, you know, and you can hear the difference, but it's still impossible to tell without an airspeed indicator what you're actually doing. So the way I've done it is I just get to the top of my flare and I flare hard till it's literally nearly silent, and I can feel it's just falling off the top like a roller coaster. You know, when you roll off the top of the roller coaster and start to see the point you're going towards. 3 seconds and I pull, and I get a consistent 45, 48 mile an hour pull over and over, 500 in a row, literally, and it's by experimentation.
48 mile an hour pull in a skydive.
It's ridiculous, yeah. I mean, and I can see that I can dive it to 120 whatever miles an hour, flatten it out for a couple of seconds, because obviously you can't skip stone and boom, boom, that sort of angle, and you lift it and it just goes quiet. When it's at that top, for me, that's my benchmark. That's when I know I'm at the real low airspeed, because I can hear, I can hum and I can hear myself. It's there, there's no airspeed, no noise. Then when I start again, 1, 2, 3, pitch, and then I've got a little app on my logbook on my phone, and it tells me every time, and it shows me the graph, and every time, even if it is wrong with the numbers, it's correct it's the same every time. So there's a standardization across the board for me for my pull. But it says 45 mile an hour. So
there's so many things in that statement that the old skydiver in me finds horribly wrong.
Oh, me too.
The 45 mile an hour and the app on my phone tells me
and may I just say, I'm not looking at it at the time. So it's not like I've just got my phone out and gone, yep, that's about the right speed.
You never know, man. People use phones at some weird fucking times.
Believe me, I'm sure someone's going to put a phone in their helmet at some point. And for consistency, having the wingsuit specific canopy made all the difference. But for consistency, having that app, it's no different than having the Nike Fit bracelet or whatever. It doesn't matter whether it works in Nike points or calories or whatever, or steps or whatever. If you have your own benchmark, even if it doesn't concur with your buddy's different type of Garmin or whatever.
So as long as you're getting the information.
And if you can do the same every time, then it doesn't matter whether it's giving it to you in whatever. It's the same every time. And it's consistency that wins out in the end.
Now, are you strictly skydiving wingsuiting, or have you taken it base jumping?
I'm a skydiver, that's it.
Does it, I mean, the suit's doing what they do now, does it scratch or does it make you itch a little bit?
Without a shadow of a doubt. When wingsuit, the first one was Louis Jean Albert going down the Chamonix, going past the two skiers, and when you slowed that down from was it Salomon? It was the French boys. When you slowed it down and you could see the angle of the skiers, the way that they were dug into the side of the mountain, you could see how steep it was. And I looked at that and went, well, I could do that. And then you see the guys getting off of the mountains and flying away, and then everyone wants to fly back, and then everyone wants to fly down. And I got some friends that are talented wingsuit flyers. Good on them, man. You know, it's just not my thing.
Yeah, no, I am right there with you.
And I kind of wish it was in a way, because it's
fucking cool. It's fucking cool. I watch
not putting stuff online and showing everyone.
No, just doing it.
Just doing it for yourself. You know, I got friends that have base jumped for years. I mean, the old urban base. And every now and then they'd go, Fordy, look at this, bro. And I was like, I didn't even know you base jump, man. Whereas nowadays,
it's all out there.
Everyone wants it immediately when they land. They're like, okay, I just got to upload this.
Of course. No. I mean, well, and you and I know a lot of the same people, and like Nick and Matt are a great indication of incredible talent on the wingsuit, but they're probably only putting online a tenth of the jumps they're actually doing, because
they let other people put it online because they don't need to.
Yeah, no, they're doing it for themselves.
It's not really their thing. I mean, what do you think of the PlayStation 5?
Oh, jeez.
The wingsuit jump off of the Burj.
Talk about the production value alone with that. So you know you're into something. But seeing them both standing up there as casual as can be, and granted maybe they're holding it in, but you see that video and you're like, they look way too fucking comfortable.
Dude,
there.
I'm sure you'll have the boys back in the can at some point. So I won't steal the thunder, but I talked to Nick about it, because both those boys for me, they're just talent. And they're absolute characters, and they're just so professional with what they do. The stuff they did flying over the dam and popping over the wall, there's stuff that I just have to applaud them every time I see that stuff. But he gave me a little insight into how it actually went on, and it's a grin, man. So when you get to speak to him about that, it's an interesting story. What I did like was the was the little the teaser they put out where the boys are in the tube going up through to the very top without the wingsuits on, and they're climbing the rungs and blah blah blah, and you just hear Matt go, right, let's get off this fucking perch, and they literally cut him. They like, whoop, there we go, we'll cut him out just as he gets off.
It was pretty, that was a hell of a teaser.
Intense, right?
Well, and I was trying to puzzle all that together, and I'm like, they had to put their wingsuits on up there. I'm like, holy shit.
That's like, the way I looked at that when I saw that was like, that's like getting out of a submarine, like through the torpedo tube, but getting into the torpedo tube to get ready. You know, just get all your stuff in there with you. Don't worry, there's loads of room. And then just kind of like shuffling about to get it on. But yeah, man, the boys did a good job. Good on them.
You know, and I'll tell you what, I keep seeing stuff like that, and I keep watching it, and I'm like, all right, there can't be anything left. There can't be anything next. How do you go further than this? But every time I've said that ever in the past, of course, I'm proven wrong because somebody comes up with something next, some next level, I never thought wingsuits would be doing the things that they're doing now. It's fucking insane in a wonderful way.
And when you see the building that they went under and flared under, the way it looks from the way it was shot, which I guess was ex-Dubai, shooting all that footage, the building looks pretty big.
Yeah.
You drive past that building, it's not that big. And I actually looked up under that building and went, is that actually the building?
I remember
watching... Or is there a
watching...
bigger one? Because that doesn't look tall enough.
It was the same thing. I watched that video and I'm like, that looks dramatically bigger than I know that to be.
Yes.
So it was just, off the charts.
Yeah.
Again, like I said, I think the equipment's improved dramatically over the years, of course, but so has the ability of the people flying it.
Yes. Absolutely.
Well, and every time something different, something new happens, not just with wingsuiting. Hell, I was talking to Luigi Cani not that long ago, and of course he's taken on the new challenge of flying and potentially landing the 34. Mm-hmm. Have you seen this thing?
I watched it packed up the other day online because James Ball is filming Luigi, and James is flying a wingsuit.
Yeah,
because it's the only way to stay it unless you're going to do the record yourself. James is a talent. He's a super talented guy. And so, I saw Luigi flying that tiny little yellow. And they've got sponsorship from...
Audi.
So there you go. All the big car manufacturers.
Yeah, the ring's up there.
So, guys, if you're looking for some sponsorship, maybe tap up, Volkswagen or...
Right? Back in the day, you were going to any obscure... You're trying to get a lumber company to get you. I think Sammy Popov, when Vic Papadotto was still alive and they were flying together, managed to get sponsorship from Space Pen. Nice. Remember that pen that you could write in any direction? Yeah, they managed to get it from them because they're like, fuck it, it's weird, it's new, whatever. We'll give it a shot, and sure, we'll sponsor a SkySurf team. What do we care? It's $10,000 or whatever. Yeah. But for Audi or BMW, this is some cutting edge shit.
And they sometimes don't. The big companies don't want to be involved in stuff that could backfire if something. Because some. Don't want to use the word reckless. Some people push the boundaries because of sponsorship. There's no doubt about it. You see people out there and they do stuff. They go a little closer. They go a little faster. They're a little hotter than they should be because they don't want to disappoint the sponsors and the marketing people. I've got a watch. I'm sponsored by a watch company in the UK. And weirdly, the guys used to sponsor us when we were a SkySurf team because the guy that ran it had a company called Animal. And Animal started off as a surfwear company where the guy made Velcro straps for people and they loved them. And he just went in, designed watches and blah, blah, blah. And they still, all the rest of the business, I think they sold the Animal business and they carried on with these beautiful watches. And EB watches, I'm going to push them out there.
Please.
Elliot Brown watches. They just look after me for the wingsuit. They help me out with the wingsuit. It's logoed. It's good. I fly. Sadly, as the photographer, I don't get as much of my suit in the pictures.
Sure.
As I would like to, but then they just don't push. They don't care. They're like, dude, whatever. If you put that up, you do that. That's cool. They're not pushing. I don't feel I have to do something. Maybe a little ridiculous to keep my sponsorship and
that's
to stay
rare,
on
though.
Instagram.
That's rare. By the way, you can tell them I know this great podcast they can sponsor.
There you go.
If you want. And that's the thing though, right? Is it was the Red Bull business model forever to sponsor shit that was not necessarily out of control, but definitely pushing that edge. Yep. And I think Red Bull kind of made it okay for companies like BMW or Audi to now sponsor stuff that might go pear-shaped. And I think it's finally okay to do that as long as they're not going too far. Now, that being said, we won't mention his name, but there was a sky surfer that both you, or not sky surfer, but wingsuiter that both you and I knew that was competing in sponsored and lost sponsorship because he was being reckless and pushing too hard. Of course, he's not with us anymore, unfortunately.
Yeah,
great
it's
guy,
line, right?
but I was actually really impressed to find out that his sponsorship politely backed away. Because I was hoping, as I'm sure a lot of people were, maybe this will slow things down because it's,
Well, sponsorship's hard won and easily lost.
Yeah.
And that's, whether it's easily lost by pushing too hard and them saying, dude, actually, you're not going in a direction we want, or whether you're not putting out content that they want.
Sure.
And so, as a skydiver, it's kind of difficult to know what they want.
Sure.
And it's difficult to know if you're doing enough. And I guess some people have got sponsors where they're like, well, I just throw content out and I'm good. And they, they just think it doesn't matter. But if you care about your sponsor, it's a two-way street.
Sure.
You want to give good content. And so you want to push.
Who thought that content would be the currency of our age, right?
Yeah, well, you take influencers with 500,000 or 1 million or 12 million followers, and suddenly they're important people, bro. So
God, I was talking about that not that long ago, and it's kind of funny too. As I sit here with you in a podcast studio, putting out a podcast for people to listen to,
content. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, clearly I'm making content, and I run, Instagram and Facebook pages and all that shit for this and other stuff, and I've been writing for the magazine. So my whole life's been about content as well.
But your content's not paying you 150, 200, 500,000 a month.
No, it's not.
That's the difference.
Can we fix that?
I took a guy for a tandem. Lovely little lad. And I said, what do you do? Because I asked, I try to get involved with all my students.
Sure.
And I'm like, what do you do? And he's like, oh, I'm a YouTuber. And I'm like, well, okay, there's something your careers officer didn't tell you was an option.
All right.
I'm like, so what do you do? He said, well, I edit and I've got my own channel. And I make about 4,000 a month off my own channel. I went, well, that's pretty good, man. You don't really have to do a lot. If you're getting $4,000 a month, that's a good basic income, right?
Yeah.
Can't knock that. And he went, yeah, but I edit stuff for a guy, and he's this YouTuber, blah blah blah. I won't name him. Doesn't matter who it is. But he's on like 350,000 minimum a month.
Jesus
and I went,
Christ.
okay, that's cool. He said, and he pays me $1,000 a day for about an hour's work to edit for him. Like, I'm doing the subs and I'm like, you're on 35 grand a month, bro, for literally an hour's work a day.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy.
Wrong job.
Well, I mean, there's a couple of the influencer crazes that crack me up. First off is I suppose it's age old. All the hot chicks. It's Instagram pages with nothing but asses or side boob or this or that. Okay, even though whatever, I suppose I can understand that. But there's the one kid that just does unboxing of presents. Yep. And he's making like $8 million a month.
Yeah, I've seen that one. He bought out a Nerf gun. There was a Nerf gun. I was looking at a Nerf gun because of my fiance's kid. And I was like, oh, let's look at the Nerf gun thing. And that guy came up on YouTube because I like to do a little research. I'm of an age where I like to research. So,
sure.
I've gone past the point where I just go out and splash a load of cash and go, well, that was shit.
Right.
So I did a bit of research and I watched one of these guys and he's such a cute kid. He's just like, and he takes his stuff out, and then I saw how much he was making.
It's insane. It's insane. All his parents were thinking is, please don't fucking grow up. Don't look any older than you are right now. We are cashing in. Yeah. It's crazy. And I think for as positive as it can be in some of those respects, it's also just as negative in the Instagram world or the Facebook world for the sport of skydiving and base jumping, because it pushes no names way too fucking hard to do stupid shit to become an influencer. Yeah. That's the crazy stuff. That's where you shake your head and you see some of the videos that come out of, especially when terrain flying was super, super popular. Yeah. And you're watching this going, no, that guy's not that skilled. He just almost died there and got away with it.
I definitely know a few people that wingsuit base that I would be sketchy about having in a 5-way,
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, and that's me personally. Maybe I'm a little harsh with my standard of 5-way, but I'm also looking at people going, dude, like, wow. You and you're telling me you do this and you do that. And like, that's you. How do I put this? It's, again, I've got a lot of wingsuit jumps, or a fair amount of wingsuit jumps, and so a fair amount of knowledge and experience in wingsuiting. And by far, I am nowhere near the top of wingsuiting.
Sure.
You know, I fly with guys that are, and I'm on a learning curve, and I love it. However, when I fly with other people, I'm like, you know what, I'm definitely, I can help you out here.
Sure.
And yet they're like, oh yeah, wingsuit base, and I do this, and I'm like, oh, okay. Shit, dude.
I'm not going to teach this guy anything.
Yeah, the first thing I'd do to help you out is maybe say, back off from wingsuit base, because you are nowhere near talented enough.
That's the thing, man. I mean, but
they get away with it, and that's the thing, right? You get away with something long enough, either you
think that's
do
how it is.
develop the experience and the talent, or you're mentored by someone, and you get through the game, the level, until you get to the next level, or you don't. And then that's sadly.
And I mean, in the world of base jumping and skydiving, the community that is well known in wingsuiting and stuff like that is a relatively small community in skydiving. So the people that everybody knows are very few. And then there's a slightly bigger group that people in that area kind of know, and it kind of dispels from there. But the people that the mainstream, people that don't skydive know, are like one or two people. Yeah. Like Espen's one of the most well-known wingsuiters in the world if you're in the sport. Yes. And he's known even if you're not a base jumper or a wingsuiter, just because he's so prolific and puts out such amazing stuff. But if you're not a skydiver, you have no fucking clue who Espen is. You know, maybe you saw an ad that he did or this or that or the other thing, but you have no idea who he is or what that's about.
The name doesn't mean anything to you.
Exactly.
But that's the same. That's the same with everyone. You look at the people in our sport that, for me, I've idolized over the years, and other people have come up through, and everyone has a mentor or someone that they idolize in the sport. And you look at someone, let's say Craig O'Brien, amazing photographer, videographer, and done loads of stuff. Norman Kent, he is at the end of the day, he is the videographer for me. You know, I had his posters on my wall when I was like 18, 19 years old. I had all the Wings Came Flight videos. God, I can still sing the song, but I won't.
Please.
But in the sport, that's it.
Yeah.
Outside of the sport, yes, I'm sure he's known very much because he's such a cinematographer. Sure. But actually, to know Steven Spielberg as in a name. Sure. You know, you can name so many different movie directors, whereas this guy is the peak of talent in our sport. Yeah. In our small little bubble, he is he's the epitome of what you would expect. Sure. And all of those big photographers, all of those guys that would jump in the big camera, and he's still going, but all those guys that would jump in the big cameras.
Oh, McGowan and that whole crew.
Amazing Mike McGowan, fantastic photographer as well.
Yeah.
And yet, outside of the sport, it's just such a small niche thing to do.
Which is what kills me about the guys that are going balls out without the experience and without all that to try and climb to the top of a pyramid.
Which is tiny.
For likes in a world. Yes. Exactly. You know, come on. I mean, I get it. I understand the allure of it, but it just, a lot of the serious accidents and fatalities happen because guys are pushing so hard for a couple extra fucking likes on YouTube.
Yeah. Yeah, don't die for popularity, guys.
No. And at the end of the day, everything that I've ever done that I thought was absolutely badass, I look back on and go, well, it was fun. That's my marker, is not was it badass, was it fun? Yeah. You know, I see that continuing, although especially talking to guys like Nick and Matt, the proximities, and Espen as well, the proximity stuff is not nearly what it was. No. People are still getting close, but they're getting close in areas where...
it's been done.
Well, it's been done.
And also there was a few bad summers.
Yeah.
And when I say bad summers, they were really ridiculously bad.
Yeah. Well, we lost, both you and I lost quite a few friends in those summers. And
it's and I think people now, I look at Matt and Nick especially, and they're doing some cool stuff. I love their acro stuff.
Right.
That's still, I have to watch it. I have to watch that from behind the couch, looking through my fingers, like peeking through between the crack of my fingers, because still some of that is just like, what?
Yeah.
But there's been some... there's been some insane stuff which isn't as close as it used to be.
Right. Well, they're pulling away from, if they're flying terrain, they're flying terrain where the easiest way to go is away from the terrain. Yeah. And they're pulling away far enough to now do the acrobatic stuff, which is
Yeah.
I mean, fuck
Yeah.
me.
Yeah, it's beautiful, huh?
Well, you're literally watching something the Blue Angels would be doing, but it's your buddies in wingsuits.
And I'll tell you something which is mind-blowing, and there's been a lot of little fads in the sport over the years. We've all seen it. It went from digital, which wasn't a fad, but it was a technical marvel at the time.
Sure.
And everything got smaller and everything got a little bit higher quality. And then we went to, there was a short spate of 3D.
Yeah.
You know, there was the twin GoPro mounts. And people were throwing 3D out there, which I never, thank God, went down that path because I just couldn't see it lasting that long.
Right.
And now the drone footage. Holy shit.
Insane,
I'm watching
right?
some of the drone footage with the wingsuit flying, which is they're being chased. And at first, okay, it's going so fast. They're going so fast. How can that drone be keeping up? The little racing drones are so good.
Yeah.
And then there was a shot of a guy where the drone kind of pulled up next to him. And as he flared up to pull, the drone flipped around the front of him and stopped.
Yeah, I saw
as
that.
he opened, it just fell into frame. And I watched this. I must have watched it 30 times.
Yep.
Trying to work out. And I'm like, well, I've flown drones and they're good fun. But the footage with the guy must be wearing the goggles and stuff, and the first point of view goggles, and the way he flies next to him, watches him flare, pulls around the front, and just hovers up.
Yep.
And the guy canopy just
Yeah.
drops open.
Yeah.
I'm like, wow.
I saw that exact same video.
Those few seconds of footage, mind blowing.
Oh, yeah.
But the same as the 3D, same as all the other stuff. Too much of it. And if it's cut in nicely with other stuff, it's beautiful. And that's where Matt and Nick, with obviously the buzz jump, was the drone that was on that was just insane.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
But it's cut in with ground footage. It's shot in with static cameras. It's and then
it's a nice addition to a full production. As a standalone, there's not too many. Now that one video you were talking about where he ends up saddling out right in front of the drone, literally my first and only thought was that guy trusts the drone pilot a whole fucking lot.
Yeah, absolutely. Although to be fair, having had the drone and having touched the prop as it's going and stuff, they're
still.
Yeah. I mean, if you hit it, the drone pilot's going to be out of pocket more than you are.
Yeah. It's still so impressive to watch that stuff and to be able to tie all that together is pretty incredible. I just actually saw a really, really cool jump, and I'm not sure where it was or actually even the people that were doing the jumping, but it was a wingsuit formation with what looked like a Pitts circling him.
That's a Red Bull team, I believe. It's the the guys jumping with a porter?
No. It's like a Pitts special. So an aerobatic aircraft, and they're flying straight in a formation, and he's just looping, blowing smoke the entire time.
Yeah.
Fuck me.
Yeah.
Again,
well, the one that the Red Bull guys flying with the porter.
Yeah.
And then the guy just flying around him.
Sure. Well, and I mean, Vince and Fred were key in all that stuff going that
proximity
direction.
flying with aircraft and stuff. And,
yeah. I still watch and rest his soul, man. Watch a lot of the stuff that Vince has done, and obviously a bunch of it's come out now. I saw Fred's jumping again, which is wonderful to see. But
that's hard for him, man. It's just my heart went out to Fred. Because I've known them boys since I did the 2007, I guess it would have been Euro Record. They were part of Babylon. They were the main the guys influencing and pushing back then, and those guys have been together forever. So I just can't even imagine it. It's hard to even. No.
I mean, even all the photos that came out after the fact, and I don't think I've ever seen two people as completely linked in as they were.
The synergy was incredible.
Yeah.
That stuff they did past the and we're talking flaring on wingsuits again, but the one past
the lighthouse.
Oh my God. I'm sat there and I'm watching that, and I'm like, oh God, I hope more angles come out about this, because I love the flaring, and I've always, just like when you see someone else do it or you do it, and there's a tandem in the distance, and you know that they're watching, and you're going up, and it's amazing. But to see it from a ground perspective, we've always called it relative work because we're relative to each other and not relative to the ground, and most people don't realize you're falling until you see someone else or a cloud and blah blah blah. But when you see someone flare and there's something static on the ground, whoosh, I watch that and I'm like, you boys are insanely good.
Yeah.
I mean, and the joy afterwards, oh my God, that's why it's so heartbreaking, is when you see them afterwards when they land and you just don't get that smile, right? And they're just...
Well, I mean, it was the same reaction after their burst jump.
Yes.
Same thing, and you could see that level of joy in almost every bit of it, which was absolutely amazing to see. But it's great to go back and see some of the old footage that's just, especially from the way back, but to see that progression as well with that level of talent.
I can still watch that interview they did in the States. I can't think of the guy's name.
The Conan O'Brien one. Dude, he made me laugh so fucking hard.
Brilliant, absolutely eloquent, beautiful, the most amazing French-English accent.
Yes.
So he speaks English with the most amazing accent.
Yeah.
And when he talked about the fact, he's like, "Is that legal?" And he's like, "Next question." Man, I just crack up every time I see that. It's such a typical skydiver thing, but he's
When it was almost like a comedy team, because Fred was very much the straight man
very
to
much the
Vince's.
straight man,
It was
and I've
fucking
not seen them
hilarious.
like that as well, because Fred's like, yes, but they've said it in a couple of different interviews. It's like, Fred and I, we were blah blah blah. He goes, "We're not together. He's not my boyfriend." He's,
They were
man,
probably
brilliant.
both damn happy to end up getting married just so that they could stop those
exactly.
rumors. No, we're not fucking dating.
Yeah,
Yeah, no,
Solid team.
he was spectacular in that for sure, and just a super gregarious, happy guy.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how many times I was lucky enough to sit down and talk to him and watched him jump in snow skis with boots and all, and you're like, dude, what the?
And I mean, not just the skydiving stuff, but look what he did with the mutant and stuff like that. I mean, to help with the progression of equipment, because that's something very rare.
Yeah.
Very rare that in skydiving and in wingsuiting and whatever, you get these little... And it is about a build-up of small advancements that make... same in aircraft, same in cars, same in any technology. But the parachute harness container, since the reserve from the front went to the back, and since they kind of got rid of Velcro and went towards maybe, more enclosed containers and tuck tabs, and maybe then towards, for some equipment, magnets.
Sure.
There's been some great advancements.
Yeah.
But
I've been rigging
since about 95. So, I've kept up with all this stuff, but it isn't major
No, it's
advancements.
tweaks.
It's still... It's a piggyback system,
Yeah.
and that's it. It's just a little safer and a little more comfortable and a little more ergonomic for the speeds we're flying.
Sure.
And then you get this guy who's pretty much turned it into a mountain soaring harness container system for skydiving.
Yeah.
And that's a massive change.
Absolutely.
That's a massive change. We've been watching Mario Fattorusmo.
Yeah.
He's been flying...
Has he been flying a mutant?
Yeah, they're both the Italian guys have been
Fattoruso
training.
brothers.
Fattoruso,
Yeah, I had
that's
them in
genuinely
here with
nice.
Pablo Hernandez in
I
here.
listened, and Brian Vasher.
Yeah.
Shout out to Vash and his motorbike project.
Yeah.
I watched those guys training, and man, he jumps that mutant now as his daily jumping rig. That's the crazy thing.
Yeah.
It's like something that was and it is very specialised, and there's not that many people jumping them. The people like Pete Allen and the Fattoruso guys, it's just for them. It's like, it's what you do.
Yeah.
But it's such a technical bit of kit for me, from my engineering side.
For sure.
I'm like, oh, look at me. And when let's have a look at this. Let's pull it apart. Let's see how it is designed and how it's put together.
Well, that's the first big change I've seen in a container system in quite some time.
Well, that's exactly it.
Canopies are quite different. Obviously, the change in technology in regard to the wings we fly has changed pretty substantially in the time that I've been in the sport. Because when I started jumping, a stiletto was the most badass fucking insane canopy you could fly.
Yep.
And people were frapping in on bat wings.
Jesus. Yeah.
Back in the day. So
that was still softer than the openings.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. So a lot of changes that direction. But you're right. It's really cool to see jumpers be able to put in these little suggestions and hints.
That was Vince.
Yeah.
With the mutant harness.
Fucking amazing.
He was working on that. And
you see any other daydream crazy projects changing in the near future? Got any predictions?
Like I say, it's all those. It's the little things that grow and make things safer and more comfortable and better for everybody. But I mean, where'd you go? It's like you say, like when you think it can't go any further, suddenly something changes that you go, well, that really took me from that was out of left field. I didn't see that coming.
Sure. Well,
and I don't think there's been that many real enhancements in wingsuiting, if I'm honest. You look at wingsuits since so I jumped with Stefan Zunino the other day, and they call him Papa Zun. Like he's the father of wingsuit flying. And I jumped with him a few years ago, 2018, at a world record attempt in Florida. And I was chatting to him about, because I started in 99 on the wingsuits, and I said, when did you start with the wingsuits to Azul? And he's like, I think 95. I'm like, holy shit. Wow, that's ridiculous. That's way before.
Yeah.
And I flew with him, the other day, took some pics for him, and which I was absolutely so proud to be jumping with him. I took some photographs of him and a young lady called Sarah, and shot some stills for him.
Oh, I mean, I think that's what makes our sport kind of the Rolling Stones of sport.
Yeah.
We just fucking keep. I mean, the guys that were cutting edge when I was starting are still jumping their asses
Some of the
off.
guys, yeah.
It's the Rolling fucking Stones, man. They just keep going and going and going. It's awesome.
Coming up to August. August will be 33 years for me, and I have no idea when when I'm going to slow down. But I'll tell you what, I'm going faster now than I ever did.
Yeah. Oh,
I'm
yeah.
going harder now than I ever did.
I mean, I'm just a lazy fun jumper now, but fuck, I hit my 25 year on February 22nd.
There you go.
Which is insane.
I expect to see you at the drop zone.
Oh, you're damn right. You're damn right.
Yeah.
I mean, I just traded wings for ones with engines, but I still jump. Although I've not done much jumping since Everest because I stopped jumping before Everest because I knew damn well if you're gonna fuck yourself up,
absolutely.
it's gonna be on a hop and
you've got
pop.
a massive project coming up. That's just odds law.
Everybody was like, "Dude, you were jumping all the time. How come you're not jumping?" I'm like, "Because I'm going to Everest next month, and I know I will fucking twist an ankle."
I remember it was for you. It was a long training regime to get to that point.
Yeah,
and
man.
You just don't want to do anything to jeopardize that.
No. Well, and I need to jump now because I'm supposed to go back to Everest this year as long as we get through everything.
Yeah.
So, and this time I'm supposed to be writing an article about one of the jumpers and enjoy the whole thing. So, fuck it. We'll see. Nice. So, as we wrap up, any predictions about 2021?
Oh man, let's just hope that those that want to get vaccinated get it done.
Yeah.
Let's hope that. Let's hope things ease off, man, and that not just our sport, but everything can get back to a little bit more normality. Because there's a lot of people out there hurting.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I asked Katie Hansen, wingsuiter badass extraordinaire rock star, who also happens to be frontline medical in the States. She got the vaccination, and you'd see her bantering online. Her and her husband were very outspoken about what was going on because she was in New York when New York was like really, really bad, and her husband was walking around New York while all that was going on. And so you're getting,
surprise me.
Oh yeah, and you're getting all these amazing stories from these two, and so when she finally got the vaccination, I'm also, is it everything they said now that Bill is in control? Because clearly Bill Gates is now in control of you. You took his vaccine. He's chipped you. So, and she thought that was funny. So, I hope
there's been some funny stuff out there about the old vaccine and stuff. And
dude, and whatever.
Like,
people are going to believe what they're going to believe. I'm getting the goddamn shot.
Yeah, I'll get it when it's available, man. Because at the end of the day, it's not about me. It's I've got an 80-year-old parent. And it's about them. It's about making that person down the store feel safe when they're walking around because you're wearing a mask and you've had a vaccine. Yeah. And I'm not doing it for me.
Absolutely. So. Yeah, no, I'm right there with you. And hopefully things start to continue to turn around because they have turned around in quite a few places. And hopefully we're back to normal and jumping and flying like crazy and climbing mountains. 40. Again, man, thank you so much. It's been good.
Out, bro.
We'll get you back here after we've had a year of jumping our asses off, and you can tell me what you've been up to.
Happy days.
All right, brother.
Care, man.
See ya. All right, there you have it. Another episode in the can. As always, brought to you by the greatest magazine in the known universe, Blue Skies Magazine. Head to blueskiesmag.com where you can subscribe to the magazine. You can check out all their cool swag. Also, by pussfoot.com, the Extreme Sports Collective. Type it in, check it out. Brought to you by Summit Parachute Systems, Jarrett Martin, making badass pilot rigs and giving rigging courses. Summit Parachute Systems, check it out. And as for me, I am the fucking pilot. You can find me at thefuckingpilot.net or theprincesspilot.com goes to the same place. There you can get links to all the podcasts as well as both the books. Thanks again. We'll see you next time.